Chapter 7 Qualitative Research Methods by Lynn Westbrook. From the Book of Basic Research Methods for Librarian. Presented by May Andy Aparado from BLIS 3A student. Now, let us define what is qualitative research methodology.
Qualitative research involves collecting and analyzing non-numerical data, for example, text, video, or audio, to understand concepts, opinions, or experiences. It can be used to gather in-depth insights into a problem or generate new ideas for research. This chapter reviews the following elements: the underlying principles of naturalistic work, ethical concerns, data gathering techniques, data analysis tools and methods, developing grounded theory, ensuring analytic integrity, and the presentation of findings. Underlying principles of naturalistic work. Naturalistic work seeks out all aspects of that complexity on the grounds that they are essential to understanding the behavior of which they are a part. The values and context inherent in every human activity are posited as necessary to any analysis. Critical realism asserts that the separation of the physical and conceptual is impossible in human activity, thereby denying the strictly stratified or dual approach to understanding individuals, societies, and interactions between the two. Naturalism as a research paradigm. When defined as a research paradigm, rather than as a research method, naturalism is an approach that posits reality as holistic, based in the perceptions of individuals and communities, and continually changing. The basic premises underlying the naturalistic paradigm are under systemic attack in several recent publications by social conservatives. Naturalism in LIS research. The naturalistic paradigm only recently has been accepted in the applied or professional schools. Brenda Dervin's sense-making approach to understanding communication, decision-making, and information-seeking behaviors provides a sound theoretical basis for a great deal of LIS research. Role of mixed multi-method research. A mixed methods or multi-methods approach provides the necessary array of data. The mixed methods approach posits as a false dichotomy the absolute, forced choice of either qualitative or quantitative methods. Ethical concerns. Naturalistic settings compound the usual issues of participant confidentiality and harmless involvement. Participant confidentiality generally dominates in qualitative research. The goal of confidentiality becomes crucial. Using pseudonyms, removing identifying details, and keeping careful records, the researcher does everything possible to ensure that the participants will never be identified to anyone outside of the study team. Research questions and data analyses that focus primarily on the deficits of a particular community or population may well lack the premise of fairness demanded by any ethical standard. Data gathering techniques. The act of gathering data for a qualitative study is an evolving process rooted in ongoing analysis. Data gathering is envisioned as a process rather than a procedure. It requires analytic judgment rather than a pre-planned routine. Sampling. No single formula provides the correct sample size. For a qualitative study, the depth, complexity, and richness of the data are critical. But identifying a representative sample is not even a consideration, since the purpose of the research is to understand, not to generalize. The two criteria for determining the right number of interview participants are sufficiency and saturation. Observation. Observation is a broad category of data gathering in which the naturalistic researcher must choose a point of balance between observing and participating. Interviews. In all their variety, interviews are a valuable qualitative method for researchers who make effective choices along the continuum between structured and unstructured interviews. documents, questionnaires, diaries, journals, papers, and more. Questionnaires vary by means of delivery. In instance, in person, telephone, mail, email, and point of contact. And format, open-ended questions, attitudinal scales, multiple choice questions, readings, and rankings. Each means of delivery has its advantages and disadvantages. An in-person questionnaire allows the researcher to clear up any obvious misunderstandings on the spot, but it is time-consuming. A telephone questionnaire allows contact with distant participants, but it is difficult to convince people to complete one without advance written preparation. Mailed questionnaires. Mailed questionnaires are relatively simple to conduct, but require significant follow-up to produce sufficient response rates. Finally, point-of-contact questionnaires are simple and affordable but do limit responses to those who choose to or who can be persuaded to complete the forms on site. In addition to questionnaires, participants can sometimes be persuaded to keep written, audio, or visual records of their activities, thoughts, motivations, emotions, and decisions throughout the life of an information-seeking interaction or project. Data analysis tools and methods. First is discourse analysis. Discourse analysis can be linguistically or culturally based. Second is content analysis basics. Uses a set of procedures to make valid inferences from text.